Only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We got a battle report for you today. We did a local RTT. We brought our Kroot. This is the first time I got my Kroot back from our commissioned spooky painter. We did a little bit different of a theme, so I sent it out, just came back. It came back actually a day before the tournament, so I was able to kind of like base everything really quick, bring it to the tournament. Now, sad thing about the tournament is I was only able to make 2 games because I had my 80th grandfather's birthday party to get to, which was at a doo-wop place, which was fun. Bunch of old people dancing, had some beers. But we have 2 videos coming up. This is going to be the first game of the RTT, and then we're going to make a separate video of the second game of the RTT. Both fun games, awesome opponents. If you guys are new to the channel, we do a lot of competitive battle reports, go over picture by picture, turn by turn, what we did good, what we could have done better, and you guys get to kind of see where I deploy, how I move my models, what I kind of target in the shooting and fight phase, and kind of seeing the scoreboard to my right here on what the points are per turn, and kind of what you see, what we had, and then where the models ended up on the table. So appreciate it, guys. Wouldn't be doing this without my Patreons. We got ranked #1 player in the United States, ITC ranking in 2024, which was pretty legit. The other 3 above me were all from overseas because they have GTs every single weekend, which we cannot compete with. And then we were #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world. So that last year was a really good year. This year, who knows what the hell we're going to be doing. Really trying to grow the channel, trying to grow the brand name, Dirtbag Nation. That's really what it is. And if you guys are interested in getting a competitive scene, head over to competitive Dirtbag at the Patreon and sign up for competitive or Grandmaster. Or if you just want to support the channel, head over to the merch store. We got some sick ass swag, new designs. A lot of the Patreons already supported that, and there's going to be some other stuff which we'll get into next, and then we'll go over the list, and then we'll get into the battle report. But our first game is against Necrons, so we'll get into that first, or we'll get into that, and then like I said, the next video is going to be Kroot versus Dark Eldar Drukhari, which I still call it Dark Eldar. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, if you want to support the channel, head over to the merch store. The link is in the description below. We have our new sports themed Grey Knights, Chaos, and Space Marine logos on a bunch of different shirts. We just updated the shirt as well. These are probably the most popular. So if you guys want to rep these at the local GT, you can do that. Also sport the Dirtbag swag. So really appreciate it. Click on the link below. If you guys are interested in other merch, we do offer some 3D prints. We have Codia's the Assassin, should be in every single list. The Space Marine Lieutenant, Space Marine Librarian, the Tech Marine for Grey Knights, and the Cypher should be in every single list. We have poker chips, which are great for sticky objectives. All of the stickers are manageable. These will be on t-shirts soon. We have widgets still, and we have about orange and orange. So we have orange Dirtbag dice. If you guys are interested in getting some dice thrown on the table, hit me up in Discord and we'll get back to the video. Okay guys, those are the sponsors. If you guys, like I said, want to support the channel, hit me up on Discord if you want any of the widgets. And then if you guys want to check out the shirts are legit, really cool. Love the designs. Thanks for 5G. But yeah, let's get into, so the Necron list. We have 2 big ass gun ghost arcs. We have the Storm King, we have the Nightbringer, we have a unit of these guys that just mulch infantry with the character. We have the guy that has the free Overwatch or a 2+ Overwatch, which is nuts. 2 units of Scarabs, 2 big units of Wraiths with the characters with a 5+ Feel No Pain, and then a unit of the Death Marks. So pretty standard Necron list on both sides. You have 2 of basically every unit. And let's get into the mission. So the mission to my right is Scorched Earth. This is the terrain layout. If you guys are in the northeast area of the United States, Pennsylvania, this is Alternate Universes Bluebell. This is our main store. We do RTT once a month. Everything's legit. It's a very competitive meta, but awesome people. We're there to basically teach at our RTTs, which is what the first 2 games was all about. So we have the terrain, all Games Workshop layout. We did layout 1. These are objective markers if you guys are interested in that. Somebody actually just asked me about them because the link wasn't working. Hopefully the link works now. You guys get your own 40k objective markers, which are used every single game. The corner deployments, so these are the diagonal 30 inches from the center all the way up. And the funny thing about Kroot is, we'll go over the list in a little bit, but the funny thing about Kroot is, like, when you deploy, the next picture is the scout move, because it's just bonkers how much Kroot, like, scout forward, especially scouting 7 for 90% of your army, is just hilariously to take a picture with. So for our list, posted in the description below, but it's basically 60-70 Kroot carnivores, so 120 man with 2 characters. One of the characters has the dev and anti-infantry 3+ bow. It's such a sniping character model, and then the other one gives the feel no pain to that unit. If you kill another unit in melee, you get 5+ feel no pain for the rest of the game, which is sick. And then we have 2 units of rampagers, which are really good for the mortal wounds on the charge. They're just beat sticks. Like, they were such a good model. I just wish there was advanced in charge, or they were faster than speed 7. Like, that's really the only hindrance, is you're never really going to get all 6 of them into combat at once for the all 4+ mortal wounds. You usually have 2 3-man units or 3 3-man units, maybe 1 6-man unit if you want to rapid ingress it. But in this list, I don't have the points. We have 3x2 of the gun guys, the Kroot carnivore gun dudes. Those guys are actually sick. I really like them in the list. They're just more rampagers with guns on their backs, and anytime somebody gets shot within 6 inches of them, a Kroot unit, they can shoot back, like at full ballistic skill. It's amazing. We have 2 Vespid units, which I think are really good in every Kroot list. They're just uppy downy everywhere. And they actually have pretty good guns hitting on 4s. They don't benefit from the Kroot ability, but still 18-inch AP2 2 damage guns are pretty sick. 2 stealth suits to help out with the hammerheads, which in this we actually do have custom hammerheads 3D printed. They are great Narlock hammerheads. They look amazing from Spooky, so they look phenomenal on the table. So I was able to use them as proxies. I have to figure out how to, I might add a base to them to make sure that they're like actually as wide as they're supposed to be. They're kind of a little bit skinnier than a hammerhead, but they're as long and as tall as a hammerhead, so that's why I was able to kind of use them. If anybody shot at them, I'm like, yeah, whatever angle you can see them, we'll say that you can see them, right? I played based off of my angle, and then if they were to shoot me, I can, it's like, yeah, whatever, you can see them, that's fine, because I didn't want to play, make a model that's not actual model and win off of that. So I forget what they call it, model for advantage. You never want to model for advantage. You always want to kind of like give it to your opponent if it's like a 3D printed model or something like that. So we have 2 of those, and then we have the 2 stealth suits, 2 Vespid. These dudes, the Pathfinders are amazing for 90 points. They have Scout 7 if you give them the infiltrate thing. So they infiltrate, and then they Scout 7 on top of that. They're just so freaking good. And then 2 of the Lone Spears. So the Lone Spears have the move up 12, shoot, and then move back 6, plus their lone op. One of them with the sniper has the no deep strike within 12 inches. I love this list. This list is really, really good. It's very competitive if you were to run the Kroot carnivore detachment. But that's the list. Let's get into the first turn. So we stopped any infiltrators by just kind of putting everything up on the line. Now these guys again have the Scout 7, so if you wanted to be a little bit more defensively, you can kind of like start them this way just so he can't put models in that little triangle, and then Scout move 7 back. Now when you Scout move, you want to get off of the objectives, because if they do go first and they get the secondary where they kill models, overwhelming force killing models on an objective, you don't really want to give them that. So you want to kind of scout move a little bit defensively unless you're going first. If you're going first, you can just scout move forward and then just run them forward and kind of block them in their deployment zone, which is what we're really known for, especially with these types of lists. So they're going to move forward. If I go second, I'm going to try and move them as far back as possible and try and be out of line of sight, because with this list, he doesn't have a ton of shooting. Maybe one Ghost Star can shoot me, but if I remove enough, then the other one won't be able to shoot me. So that's kind of like the intent of me putting them over here, so that way they can just scout move 7 kind of diagonal, and then diagonal to be behind this little building. Everything is on the line. I want to put my 20-man here, the Rampagers there, 2-man guns, and then the other 2-man guns over there. Everything is going to basically scout move 7 in this little triangle right here. Same with the other guy with the lone spear. He's the gun over there. The other one that has to get close is over here. because he has to move up 12. He shoots 18, which is still really far, and then you move back 6. So I have them on opposite sides, so they give the full rerolls. One Vespid up there, one Vespid down here, one stealth suit behind here, the other stealth suit's up here. And then, again, just line everything up. We have one 10-man back here. We have two 10-man carnivores in reserves, and then one Rampager in reserve. And then I forgot to mention we have Farsight in this list with 3 units, or 3-man stealth suits of flamers, so they're able to go fall back and shoot. Farsight lets you rapid ingress for free, or do like a tank shock or something crazy, and then he also lets you fall back and shoot with that unit. Plus, I mean, anytime you're within 9 inches of that unit, you get +1 to your wound. So the strength 4 flamers AP 1, but +1 to wound, they're going to be wounding most infantry on 3s. So that's kind of why I have them. And if you have Farsight, you can Overwatch for free. So let's say you come down rapid, and then you can Overwatch, you know, in certain situations, or you can rapid, and then on your turn, if you went first or second or something, you can then do another free strat again in the next turn. So they're off the board as well. So again, we're playing Scorched Earth. So if you do burning of one of these objectives in the center, you get 5 points. And then if you burn your enemy's home field objective, you get 10 points. So he gets turn 1. So I have to actually back up my dudes right here. But this is the picture after scout move. So we basically like I said, scout moved everything up into this little diagonal, try and get nothing really shot at. He's got lone up. These guys scouted up here. Everything else kind of blocked out the back here, 2 hammerheads waiting to move up, and then everything else kind of like just chilling. So these guys, like I said, moved back 7 inches to get as far away off the objective as possible. I couldn't get everything out of line of sight, but like I said, if one Ghost Arc can shoot me, that's fine. I don't want 2 of them shooting at me, so back him up as much as possibly over there. His turn 1, he gets area denial and containment, so he has to basically move up everything in the center. So he actually sacrificed, I was talking to this guy, this is, again, RTTs are made to teach people and get people better at the game. So anytime anybody has questions or strategizing, stuff like that, like his deployment for containment, he didn't have a containment deployment. So after he got containment, I was like, all right, in this top corner where you deployed these guys and maybe this unit or these scarabs, that he's not in the detachment where the scarabs have OBSEC 1, or else that would have helped out. But these guys who are only speed 5 should have been on the line, so that way when you do get containment, you could just walk over the line and get containment, or walk into this ruin and get containment that way. So I kind of helped him redeploy his thing, so that way he could get max 6 points on containment turn 1. Same thing with something up here. Like if he wanted to put these guys over here, right against this thing, he could have just moved up 5 inches on the other side, did containment on that side, and then somebody else could have done it over here. So always want to deploy 4 turn 1 secondaries. So that is what we changed for him. So he did containment over there, and then he ran up his Wraith unit, which I think he should have ran up maybe 1 guy over here, or his scarabs should have deployed on the line, so that way the scarabs could have ran up and got area denial in the center for 5 points. But instead he moved up his Wraith unit in the center to get 5 points, and him and I were both shocked on how much the Kroot can output in the shooting and fight phase. That's kind of what happened. So you can see there's no more Wraiths in the center. I also got containment on turn 1. Call the Horde, I couldn't get on that, and then secure no man's land. I had to get 2 objectives in the center, which I did pretty easily. We kind of ignored this objective down here because he still had his Wraiths ready to come out over there, but I wanted a full send commit on the Wraiths in the center to try and get them dead as fast as possible. So what we did was we moved up our character, the little warlord dude, who has the precision D3, and it's 2 damage, dead wound, anti-infantry 3+. So that is just insane. You move him up, we precision out his character, which then gets rid of the 5+. He spends a CP to bring him back at the end of the phase, but we now have an entire phase to shoot at this Wraith unit without him having a feel no pain. So that's basically what we did. We moved up, shot 2 units of 2 of the gun guys into the Wraiths. We shot this Pathfinder unit, some of the dudes down here, this 10-man, the hammerhead shot into them, the other hammerhead shot up into this tank, which he scooted up. So one hammerhead just took them off the table, and then everything else kind of just like waited. And then we charged. So we charged the remaining one wraith and the character with our 20-man to finish off that unit and get the 5-up Feel No Pain. The Rampagers also did charge in, but they couldn't really do anything because they were already dead. So they kind of just like hung out right there and waited for the next turn. So pretty good turn one. We killed an entire Wraith unit with the character, especially with precision, and we killed one of the Ghost Arcs with our other Hammerhead. So again, taught the guy, like, hey, if your Ghost Arcs are behind cover and there's nothing to shoot, keep them behind cover. There's no point to bring them out to kind of get the no shots off, especially if they're like your gun of the unit. Same with the Wraiths. Wraiths could have like ran up and put one guy maybe within 3 of there. The other guys kind of like chained back in this little corner. Or like I said before, only like a 30, 40 point Scarab unit run out, get that, while the Wraiths ran up here to wait a turn. So Wraiths there waiting, Wraiths there waiting, and then boom, now you have a completely different game on your hands after that. Nightbringer moved up. Nightbringer made a ton of 4-up saves, didn't really die to everything. I think I shot the Hammerhead and the missiles into the Nightbringer turn 1. Didn't really do anything. Then you just sealed it back up next turn. That was the Nightbringer moving up, charging, surviving all of the guns in the world. After I like didn't really do anything to guns, I just said, hey, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do anything. And then on my turn, I committed full send into like falling back my Kroot, who only had 7 guys left. So the Kroot were charged by the Nightbringer. Nightbringer didn't kill too many of them. But on the return clap back, I fell back my last 7 guys with my 2 characters. And these guys overwatched me. They're basically sustained 2, I believe. So sustained 2 with full rerolls. Murdered the 7 guys, the 7 Kroot that fell back. I spent 1 CP to fall back, shoot, and charge. So I fell back. They overwatched the crap out of me, killed the rest of the 7 Kroot. I then had to spend 2 CP to bring them back in the reserves, which actually came back this turn. So in the overwatch phase, they died, and at the end of the movement phase, I was able to bring them back, which was pretty cool, actually. I wasn't expecting that. I wish they were still alive so that way I can charge them, but whatever. Nightbringer then died to grenades, shooting, and then charging grenades with the Rampagers, and then fighting with the Rampagers. So everything charged the Nightbringer to finally kill the Nightbringer, because I had Area Denial and Overwhelming Force, so I had to kill the Nightbringer and get him out of the center so that we can get Area Denial. And we made a charge on these 2 characters into this unit. So I have 2 characters left into the unit. That unit killed one of my characters in the fight phase because they are not good in combat. Without like more Kroot around them. I found out 6-up invuln saves, not the best. And 3 wounds on your characters, also not the best. So do not get your guys into combat if they don't have really any characters left, or carnivores. These guys walked up, got some pot shots on these dudes. I would try to make a 9-inch charge, failed the charge. The Kroot Hounds are actually really good in this attachment, especially if they stay within 6 inches of a character. They can advance and charge, or they just count as 1 OBSEC, which is awesome. So now they can actually do stuff like burn or do actions or whatever. I started burning this one, I believe, this turn, because I know you can only get 10 in this mission. So if I start burning 1 and I know he's not going to get the center at all, I have 1, 2, so that's going to be at my 10. Plus I can already start burning 1, which will get me an easy 15 or another 5 at the end of the game. So I think I started burning this one with the Kroot's Hounds, so that way if he does get some random shots off on the Hounds, that stops shots from coming into any other unit on the table. But you can see the board state. There's still a ton of Kroot left. I have the Rampagers here. The other Rampagers are about to come in up here. The jump pack dudes rapid ingressed down here in the center to try and help out killing Nightbringer, which didn't really do too much. Strength 4 into the Nightbringer. Still have 2 Hammerheads left. All the infantry kind of just moving up and blocking the way for the Wraiths to get munched on. And after this turn, we're now committing full send into the other Wraith unit. So the other Wraith unit charged in, didn't kill a ton in his turn. So then we basically brought on our other two reserves coming in, and we just put as many shots as we possibly could into the race, and then just charged them with whatever else we had on the table. We put all the flamers into them. We put the gun guys. So the gun guys are just the second wave of awesomeness. If you guys aren't using them, they're really good for 60 points. So 3 of them going into them. The rampagers again going into them. The other 2 10-man units going into them. The flamers. This guy with the spear, fucking D6, strength 10, AP 2, 2 damage shots. Hammerhead, and the other Hammerhead I think finally died. Yes, the other Hammerhead got blown up to bits from this other Ghost Ark that finally came out to shoot. And then up here we're starting to tie up his guns. So these guys are tied up. These guys moved up, shot and charged the Stormlord in his deployment zone to try and steal his home field objective, and the other 10-man moved up because he had to drop in his death marks in his home field deployment zone, and the character back there because we had most of the other board basically blocked out. These guys rapided on turn 3 up behind this cover so that way they can get shot. And yeah, at this point we're kind of just pushing into his deployment zone to try and tie up as much as we possibly can. This thing is sticky, and my home field is sticky. So basically we could just leave all these. He doesn't have anything else coming in the board, so now it's kind of just like pushing everything forward. By turn 4, all he has left is the Stormlord, which actually survived because I'm not really going to do a ton in combat. It's mainly like just tying him up. If he doesn't have, 15, 20 attacks, I'm just going to be like, hey, here's 10 Kroot, here's 10 more Kroot, here's 10 more Kroot, here's 10 more Kroot. Keep stealing the objective. That's basically all their job is to do. Our hounds are still alive because in this matchup, we didn't really need them to block anything or kind of run and tie something up. They're kind of just sitting back, blocking out, doing actions. This Kroot unit died to death marks charging them. So when death marks have to move up, shoot, and then charge your guys to kill in their deployment zone, it's not going to be a good game for the death marks. So these 2 guys are still alive because I'm not really going to touch them. We still have our solo character here, the other solo character down here. The Hammerhead's starting to move up in the center. We burnt then the second objective in the center, so we had 2 objectives burnt by this point. We still have 6 of our gun guys, 3 rampagers here, Farsight with the flamers here. Not a ton of Kroot left. We have 1 Vespid, 2 Vespid because their whole goal is to do secondary. So the 2 Vespid units are still alive. The 10-man Kroot in our backfield didn't move the entire game. They probably could have. After turn 2, when he brought all of his guys in, they could have just ran forward to go do stuff. And then we have 1 10-man here, and that is it. That's really all we needed. And then that is this is the final board state of the Kroot. So what did we learn with Necrons is that gun unit right here definitely could mow down an entire unit with shooting and overwatch. So they're really scary. The scarabs, they have to be used as blocking out reserves as well as doing actions that, or not actions, but being in places that you can get points with them for area denial, engage in all fronts, behind enemy lines, random stuff like that. Moving guys up so that way you can get your death marks into spots so that way they can actually precision or do something. And then the wraiths, they are your heavy hitters, so they have to be protected. They have to get points back by killing units, so that way you're not trading a 400 point wraith unit for 5 points in area denial. If you can't get area denial without giving them up, don't do area denial. You basically have to go back to your deployment and be like, all right, I effed up deployment, rather than giving away 400 points for area denial. That is really the takeaway of this game is deployment, turn 1 secondaries, and points trading. That is the 3 things that we learned in this game for the Necron player. Then for us, what we really did was we had most of our units camp the top objective, which is what our game plan was in the beginning, being in that little triangle right here, and then we were just gonna kind of fight and bully our way on the center objective and then keep tying people up on the bottom objective. So the first one that was gonna get burnt was this one, obviously. The second one that we were just gonna keep fighting over, if they had all the wraiths fight in the center, was going to be the center one, and then the bottom one was going to be our turn 4, turn 5. You're not going to get any points on this, and I'll keep giving you 5 points for your home field objective. That was going to be the game plan going into it, but he gave us too much early on. That way we were able to push into his home field objective to get that by turn 3. So I think this is a very competitive list. We have another battle report coming up against Dark Eldar. That was our second game out of 2. We didn't play all 3 games, but we went 2 for 2. That was pretty cool. This is the final score with the Necron list. So we had 100 points maxed out versus 56. The Necron player had 10 on primary, and then he had 31 out of 40, which is actually pretty good because we helped him out a little bit in the beginning to get area denial and containment. So 31 out of 40, and then obviously 10 points for painting. And then for us, we had 10, 10, 15, 15. So we had maxed out, which is kind of rare for Scorched Earth, unless you get, pretty early scorches burning of objectives, or you can get to the enemy home field by turn 4 or 5 or something. And then 40 out of 40 for secondaries, which we had 11 point turn 1, 8, 10, 7. So like we had a lot of secondary points the entire game, because this list is really built around that. Is the Vespid, all of the Kroot, the Hounds, the stealth suits. Like this is a very, very secondary / primary heavy list. So if you guys want to try this out, it's definitely fun. Finally fully painted. Thank you, Spooky. But yeah, so appreciate it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel. Head over to the merch shop in the link below, so that way you can check out. We actually have some Kroot t-shirts and stuff up on there, as well as I think I have a Necron. If not, I have to make a Necron shirt. Let me know in the description which character I should put on the shirt, and then I'll make sure to do that so you guys can buy it. So guys, appreciate it. Good luck, and stay tuned for the second battle report for the Kroot RTT. What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are interested in joining the Dirtbag Nation over at patreon.com, you get a bunch of perks. What we did in 2024 was we really expanded. I had traveled a ton and I played my ass off in 40k. Right now we're ranked #1 best player in the United States on ITC rankings. We were the #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world this year in 2024. 2 years ago, we got ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world, and this year we're probably going to go into Death Guard, hopefully when the new Codex comes out, or Emperor's Children. But you guys, if you guys want that head coach or that coach always in your corner just to ask questions, bounce ideas off, that's what the competitive Dirtbag and the Dirtbag Nation is all about. If you guys want to support the channel, you head over to patreon.com. You can join the Just a Car tab, which is $5 a month. You guys get access to the Discord Patreon tab. You have to be a patron to get into that Discord, and also I'm always there. All the other coaches are there. Basically, it's just such a good community over on Discord that you guys get specific access to it that only Patreons can get. If you guys want to bump that up, the competitive Dirtbag tier, you guys get to message me or another Grandmaster or another Dirtbag coach over the Dirtbag Nation to add unlimited questions, list ideas, list reviews, and bounce ideas off of. That's what having a coach in your corner is all about. If you guys want to bump up to the Grandmaster tier, that tier you get every perk under the sun. So basically you get access to Discord, you get one-on-one coaching, you get a call once a month if you guys would like to go over any RTTs coming up, any GTs coming up, any list reviews live over Discord chat, and also a special perk that Grandmasters get. If you guys want any video suggestions like we do all the time with these table setup that we just upgraded thanks to the Patreons, you guys get suggestions or battle reports you want to see specifically played live by a coach or myself on the next battle report, or a live battle report coming up on the Patreon. So you guys get obviously first access to all the videos. We post them first on patreon.com, but there's just a ton of benefits to having a professional coach that plays this game all the time at the very, very high competitive level in your corner at all times. And that's really what the Dirtbag Nation is all about, getting you guys better at 40K, the basics, and being good in your community. So if you guys want to support the channel, I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys in 2024, 2025. I am super stoked for, super excited for. We really want to get a bigger studio going. That is going to be my focus in 2025, is really growing the community on YouTube and Patreon specifically. So thank you so much for 2024, all my Patreons. If you guys are interested in joining and want that coach in your corner, head over to patreon.com and support the channel. Appreciate it.